We are going to continue our conversation today regarding the management of product. Specifically, we're going to start looking at some of the strategic decisions we have to make about where our product's going to go and what we're going to do to encourage this growth in sales for that product. First off, let's look at some of the basic objectives we need to consider. With our objectives, we need to decide for the product. Do we want to grow these sales? Do we want to decrease the sales? Why would we want to decrease sales? Well, it might be that we have some new products coming in that we want to take over for the existing product that we have. So we want to kind of decrease the demand for the current product and build demand for another one. What we want to make sure we're doing with our product objectives is fulfilling the objectives set out by the marketing objectives and by the corporate objectives that have already been laid in place. Again, this is a support function. Everything we decide now should support the earlier decisions that we made. Okay. Typically when we talk about a product, we are looking at our individual product. And that's what most of our discussion has been about so far. If you are familiar with retailing at all, you have probably heard the term SKU or SKU. And this is a term that we use to talk about an individual product. SKU stands for stock keeping unit. And so when we look at our individual products, we say, is this one, when we're doing an inventory, and we count, say 1, 2, 3, okay, we have 10 of these. Where do we put it? That classification, that's an individual product. So it may be Crest Extra Whitening for sensitive teeth. That's an individual product. However, most of the time, companies don't come up with a strategy for one and only one product because they have multiple products. So we need to consider all the products that we offer and how they complement each other. So let me go through some terminology here. When we're dealing with multiple products, what we look at in total, first of all, is our product mix. Our product mix is all of the individual products that we carry, okay, our entire offering. The second term you see up there, a product line, is a classification of similar products. For example, and I'm going to stick with Procter & Gamble as we talk through here, a line of toothpaste. That is a product line. They have many different types of toothpaste, but that general classification, toothpaste, would be considered a product line. Their laundry detergent would be a product line. Their hand soaps would be a product line. Their shampoos would be a product line. Okay, so it's a grouping of similar products. When we talk about the product mix, it's very common too to describe it in terms of width or length. If we say the product mix is wide, that is referring to how many product lines they have. If they have many product lines, like Procter & Gamble does, they are wide. If they are more of a specialty store, such as a Barnes & Noble's, then we say that they are narrow because their product line is very limited. Books, magazines, music, just a few things. The product mix length refers to how many choices there are within that product line. For example, if we look at a mass merchandiser such as Walmart, you're going to think initially that, wow, their product mix is huge. So it's very wide and it's very long. That's inaccurate. It is wide. They have many, many different product lines, but it's actually pretty short. Compare their book section to the book selection at Barnes & Noble's. Barnes & Noble's has a very long or very deep selection. Walmart's limited to some of the best sellers and some that they think are going to sell real quickly. Their selection is very short compared to the specialty store. So in general, we have mass merchandisers have a selection that is wide and short, where specialty stores have a selection that is narrow and long. We also want to look at the product quality that we are offering. There are many times that somebody in the target market wants a product that's not of the highest quality. So we might want to add a lower quality product to our line to satisfy those that are just trying to save money, or increase our quality to compete with the competition. But we can bring in products at different quality levels to satisfy the target market as well. Okay, Now let's take a look at a very important concept in marketing and actually in business altogether. If you go into marketing as a career, you will spend a lot of time dealing with this concept, and it is called the PLC, or the product life cycle. And the product life cycle is an extremely important thing because it tells us how the product does within the industry. It is not looking at an individual company's product. It is looking at a product throughout the industry. Okay. As you can see here, we have 4 different stages that we go through. The green line represents industry sales for our product. The red line represents industry profits. I'm going to go through each stage and talk about the strategic decisions that we make. In the introduction stage, which is the first stage, you see, of course, sales start at 0 because the product has not been brought out before, and profits are negative. The reason profits are negative is some money has been spent already in research and development and trying to build this product and find out what the customer is really going to want. We are not going to have many competitors in this introduction stage because only a few companies are going to be willing to put forth that initial dollar to research and develop the product. Other companies are going to sit back and wait and see if the demand is actually there. So during the introduction stage, there's not many competitors. When they bring out the product, there's usually going to be just 1 or 2 variations. There's not going to be a whole lot of options because they want to make sure that the demand's there first. We're not going to sell the product in a lot of places. We want to sell it at places where it can get a lot of support. Keep in mind, this is a new product, totally new to the industry. So consumers are going to have to be told how to use the product, what the benefit is, why they might want to try it. So that sales support is very important. Our pricing is going to go one of 2 ways, and we're going to talk more about this when we get to the pricing area of the course. But we might price our product very high, which is called price skimming. When we use price skimming, we price it high and then gradually lower it. The reason is there's usually some people out there who are willing to pay a higher price to get that product. They want to be the first one to have it. And then we'll gradually lower it. The reason we do this is to recoup our investment faster. We can use that strategy if we're going to have the market to ourselves for a while. If, though, we think that the competition is right behind us or there's already competition there, we're not going to use a skimming strategy. We will probably use what's called a price penetration strategy. And that means we start with a low but profitable price, trying to get as much market share as we can right away. Now, as you can tell by the graph, we cross over into the growth stage, which is the second stage, when the industry breaks even. At this point in time, sales are going to start taking off. People have seen it, people like this product, demand's going to grow greatly. We're going to have a lot of competitors entering the market because it's now a proven product. We are going to start seeing a lot of variations of the product as every company tries to come up with the best model, the one that's going to capture the market's attention. So a lot of variations going to be out there. Prices are going to start coming down. We have economies of scale that set in, learning curves that set in, and the effect of competition will make the price go down. Notice, though, when you look at the profits are going to peak in the growth stage. This is where the ultimate profit's going to occur. From this point on, profits are going to start decreasing. And let's explore that idea a little bit more. When we get into the maturity stage, okay, the maturity stage is going to start when your sales start slowing down. They may still be increasing, but they're increasing at a decreasing rate. During the maturity stage, we're still going to have a lot of competitors and probably a lot of new ones still entering in. But sales are going to start to peak there, and they're going to slow down. It's still high, but it's just not growing. Our price is going to have to start coming way down. Competition is forcing it way down. We're going to be spending a lot more money in promotion, so our costs are going up. So if prices are going down, but our costs are going up, our profits are starting to get squeezed. That's why profits are decreasing. But one other interesting thing that happens in the maturity stage is that all the offerings from the different companies start to look alike. They may have different variations they're offering, but every company is offering those same variations. The reason for that is when all the alternatives were offered in the growth stage, we saw which ones people actually wanted, which ones people were paying for. So now every company starts offering the same thing. Think about cell phones, and that's really where they are right now. Back a number of years ago in the growth stage, every company had something very unique. Now we're in the maturity stage, and the plans, the phones themselves, all pretty much look alike from one company to another. The final stage is the decline stage. Here sales start dropping dramatically. It may still be a profitable product, and we may keep it around for quite a while. Competitors are going to drop out of the market, though, very quickly. We're going to limit the options that we have. We're not going to sell a lot of them. Our price is going to be minimal. We're going to drop promotion quite a bit. We'll just keep the product around for those people who actually do want it. Okay, now I've gone through the different stages, but let me make some general comments about the product life cycle. I talked about these stages. I showed you this pretty little graph about how it looks. In real life, it's never going to look that way. There's too many ups and downs and blips and environmental concerns that come in and change it. But what's important is you identify where your product is in the product life cycle according to the strategic decisions that are being made in the industry, which I just went over. The second thing is there's no time limit on this. Some products may go through the product life cycle in a matter of weeks. Some may go through hundreds of years. It's not a time issue at all. One last comment. The vast majority of products, probably over 80%, never make it out of the introduction stage. Okay, they never get to the point where they actually break even for the industry, and they do die off there. What we need to consider as marketers are what kind of adjustments do we want to make to our product to try and give it added life, to try and keep it profitable, to try and make it worthwhile for our company to continue to offer. Okay, so let's wrap up what we've talked about here today. The decisions we make for our product will affect the other products we offer as well. We're going to talk a lot about that when we get to pricing, because how you price one product affects your other prices as well. But if we start promoting a product and bringing it out in the market, it could very well eat sales or cannibalize sales from another product that we offer. Marketers need to plan their strategy according to the industry. We have to understand what our competitors are doing, what's going on in that market, and really how long we're going to have this product around for. Is it going to have a long life? So we need to honestly assess their product's position within the product life cycle so as to know when new products are needed and when older ones should be eliminated. We don't ever want to stand on a product and say, this is our lifeblood, this is great, this is wonderful, we're set for life. It's not going to happen. Every product goes through the product life cycle and will eventually die out. We need to be prepared for that point in time. See you next time.